Alrighty, you guys, taking a break from work, time to watch another trailer. This one is for a movie called The Last Full Measure. I was not sure what this was about at first. I just saw it had a thumbnail of Samuel Jackson, and I saw also in the title that Sebastian Stan is in this. And I didn't know if it was a drama, a thriller, action type, and I read more about it, I think maybe either in the description of wherever I saw this on YouTube or in comments section, that it's apparently about a true story, takes place during the Vietnam War, and some guy is responsible for saving a whole bunch of, or saving the lives of a whole bunch of soldiers or something like that. So I know right off the bat that this is not really going to be my typical type of story that I'm interested to watch, but at least interested to check out the trailer and see. Maybe it will change my mind, and I will then feel compelled to watch the movie. So let's see.
Operation Abilene was one of the bloodiest battles of the Vietnam War.
Everybody down!
An entire company nearly wiped out.
We are taking fire!
Prayed for a miracle. One came. His name is Pitts.
Pitts saved lives. We put him up for the Medal of Honor.
But he never got the medal.
Justice delayed is justice denied.
Okay.
The Medal of Honor is the highest recognition of military
Is
valor
that
there
Christopher
is.
Plummer?
You'll prepare a full decorations review.
Mr. Pitzenbarger, sir.
I'm from the Department of
It
Defense.
is Christopher
I'm here to
Plummer.
learn about your son.
If you want the real story, you'll need to talk to the mud soldiers.
Okay.
I've never seen lost men like that. Pitzenbarger comes down that wire and saves men he never even knew.
Sounds like a suicide mission.
Suicide is hopeless. What Pitzenbarger did was valor.
Who's that guy?
Kept telling him to get out, but he wouldn't go. He was there to save lives, and that's what he was doing. Why are you here?
Because you're here.
Hell, we shouldn't even have been there. None of us should.
What are you saying?
That's friendly fire. We were fighting our own men.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
The after-action report is missing. Who even thought up Operation Abilene in the first place?
It's not a can of worms you want to open.
Why not? Information was removed from the original review.
You had no idea where you're starting.
I have never seen you back off of anything.
Usually we're judged by what we do. But what we don't do is what haunts us.
I'm gonna go public with the story,
Sounds a little dangerous.
but it'll be great television.
Getting that medal for Pitts, for the men I lost, might be the only decent thing I pull out of that war.
Pitzenbarger's father, he's dying.
Dying isn't harder than losing a child. Do what you can.
Guys like Pitzenbarger do what they do for each other. A life for a life.
I need to finish this.
Give praise as this young man and show us that the sacrifices of the fallen will never be forgotten.
Okay. Let me go back here. Ooh, this looks interesting. Three Christs. I'm going to have to check that out later, you guys. I was looking for a cast list. It doesn't matter. I recognized most everybody I saw in there, and even if I didn't know their name, I knew who they were. The only person that I didn't really recognize, and that's because he was involved in like moving around in action and stuff, and I couldn't really get a good full look at his face, was the fellow who came down there to save those people. And I'm taking away from it that he died during this particular event. He looks familiar to me, but that doesn't mean I've really seen him before, because sometimes some people look similar to me, or I'll get them confused with somebody else. This is not, like I said, not typically the type of film that I would be interested to see. Now, when I went into this, I thought that the whole thing was going to take place during the Vietnam War, during this particular event that this young man was involved in. I did not realize that it's really sort of like a bit of a detective story-ish. He's trying to uncover I guess, details of what happened. So that kind of pulls me in a little bit more, where he's like working to unravel this story. It also looks like it's going to be quite sad. Just thinking about this war and all of the young men who died, feels like needlessly died during this battle. And to know that this particular battle that this young man went in there to try to help his fellow soldiers out in, that was caused by friendly fire, is just absolutely astounding. That is so terrible. I mean, I know it happens, people in the midst of battle or whatever, things get confused. They can't exactly tell who they're fighting. They think it's the enemy and they're shooting. And it's so, war itself is already such a terrible, horrific thing. And then to be killed by your own people seems to like make it so much more horrible. It's like so useless. What a useless death, or deaths. I don't know how many people, it said that he saved about 60 men. I don't know how many people had died. I'm assuming probably some did. I would be surprised if they didn't. But anyway, that just is, oh my goodness, I don't even have words to adequately explain how awful something like this is. But anyway, getting back to the trailer, it did feel a bit on the long side, and looking at the timestamp on this, it's right at about 2 minutes and 21 seconds or so, maybe a second or two more than that. It did feel like it was getting a bit draggy. But at the same time, when it was revealed that it was friendly fire, that this battle was all, that the battle was because of friendly fire, that kind of distracted me from, I guess, like paying attention to how long it was feeling. And I just was sitting there in my head, just like, I can't, that's terrible. That's just awful. How terrible, And so that sort of took me away from completely recognizing that this trailer was on the long side, even though I was aware of it at the same time. Feels like maybe it wasn't necessary for it to be as long as it was, but it didn't feel obnoxious like some others that have been even less than this have felt just way too long. And I guess that's because the way they framed the narrative of this trailer. I think it would be an interesting film to watch. It's not something that will probably pull me to the movie theaters, but something that I would just like to watch on my own here at home. And I'm sure at some point, probably, at some time next year, it's going to show up on the streaming service after it's out of the theaters. I'm anticipating this will not be a huge blockbuster type thing when it comes to theaters. Did they say January? I think that's what they said, that was coming in January. January is typically not a humongozoid month box office wise for most movies, pretty much all movies. So I'm doubting it's going to hang around for a huge amount of time. But whenever it comes to the streaming service here, I'll certainly very seriously consider checking it out, just because I like the whole investigative type aspect of what they're showing us here. That's compelling to me. And I have a feeling it's going to be a story that makes me angry and sad, and I think that's the intent. You're not supposed to feel joyful and cheerful when you watch this sort of stuff, because it's pretty serious subject matter. So anyway, okay, I can't think of anything else to add about this, and I'm going to wrap this one up for now. Bye.